examination, the galaxies of space. Images begin to appear. Images of strange and powerful forces. But of all the forces in the universe, the two most powerful, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, prepare to explode. Champion versus champion. Title for title. It's the ultimate challenge. It's WrestleMania!
Hey guys, what's up? WrestleLine, John Scott here. Could not resist but to put that intro on from WrestleMania 6 as we're about to dive into WrestleMania 6 right now from 1990. So I want to encourage everybody to fire up your WWE network. If you haven't got the network, you can sign up for free. Come on, guys. And if you've already signed up for it in the past, listen, it's pretty easy. Just sign up with another email address and you'll get the first month absolutely free. And then you can just if you don't want it anymore, you can just come off it without any payment being made. So it's really simple to do. Fire up WWE Network, go to WrestleMania 6, and you want to go to the time of 3 hours, 1 minute, 30 seconds. That's 3 hours, 1 minute and 30 seconds. And on the count of one, we're going to all play this together. So hit the podcast now while you guys do that. Come back and rejoin us when you've got it on. And let's get into this. 3 hours, 1 minute, 30 seconds. About to do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. And here we go. So literally you should fire this on. It's basically showing highlights from the Royal Rumble of 1990. And this is, of course, where the exchange took place between the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. And, of course, the famous lines of the immovable object meets the invincible force. Oh, my God. I forgot about the whole crisscross that these two guys, they used to love that spot. Double clothesline, and WWE really trying to show this is Saturday night's main event. So this is obviously we have promos now before the WrestleMania matches, but back then they would just show these clips. I'm not sure what I'd prefer now, because to be honest with you, the production of the promos these days are not as good as they once were, and I'm kind of feeling that I would have probably nowadays enjoy more of just showing footage of certain things. But here we go, another main event, February 23rd, 1990. There's old Earthquake. I'm guessing Hogan's going to make the save. I can't really all that remember the whole storyline between these two guys, but other than the fact of look how over both of these guys were when they put this match on. In today's climate, with their current structure of talent and of trying to get guys over to two megastars like this would be unheard of. This is also, it's worth pointing out, the first time that WWE ever did a huge babyface versus babyface main event like this. Vince always tried to steer clear of it and go for the sort of more proven track record of having the big nasty heel going up against Hulk Hogan, but they pitched this whole Warrior thing, the Warrior program. I mean, they probably worked backwards when they were planning it, but with him, especially after the Intercontinental win against Honky Tonk Man, I would imagine he was already penciled in maybe 2 years prior to this WrestleMania. So it goes to show how much long-term planning there was in all this. As you see, Warrior running to the ropes backwards and forwards, and there he goes, he stops. But yeah, there was this kind of whole friction, and what was fascinating about this time as well, talking about babyface versus babyface, is the fact that the fans really had to make a choice of kind of deciding who they were going to root for. And I think it probably was very 50-50. At the time, I was more of a Hogan fan. I will say that, like when I was a kid. But obviously, like that was just because Hogan was just the man. Like I had everything of Hogan back then, and then when it comes to like the face paint guy, like I liked that, I digged it, but I'd already had, like I was already hooked on Sting like massively. So Sting was my guy for that, and I had his figures from WCW, so I was more of a go-to of Sting. Just to give you guys some insight on this show. So this come from Toronto, Canada, Sky Dome, of course. 67,678 was the attendance that WWE gave. Whether that's 100% true, we'll never know, because of course we know their figures can be slightly off at the best of times. The tagline of this, of course, was called The Ultimate Challenge. Was the Intercontinental Champion Ultimate Warrior going up against Hulk Hogan, title for title. You would remember the whole promos with, of course, the old Jack Tunney putting this together for all this. So, yeah, as we sort of dive into this now, obviously the Warrior entrance, probably for me, maybe the best thing about the Warrior. I certainly never really rated the Warrior's in-ring work, I've got to be honest with you, but I can't deny he was over. So as much as people can criticise Warrior for his in-ring, like you can't deny he was over. But the machine of WWE did do one hell of a job. As you see, the fans, what an interesting time. This shot here you see now of Hogan coming out down the aisle, this gets played so much in like archive footage, or if they're ever showing like WrestleMania's history package and stuff like that, this is the shot of Hogan they normally give, and for good reason. I mean, look at the amount of fans that are just absolutely like ecstatic that Hogan is walking down that aisle. It's unbelievable. Also interesting, like you'll see Hogan there, he stepped up to like around the ring like area, so they've got like extra padded out part there, which obviously they don't do now, but kind of a cool look really. And here you go, the iconic ripping of the shirt. Never quite went well, did it, when he tried to do that at the best of times. But what's fascinating is adults, kids, everyone, they are all into the product. This is a time where fans just used to go there just to enjoy wrestling. They didn't really sit there and overanalyze stuff like they do today. You know, it's unbelievable. And now I guess we're gonna get this whole pose down stuff before they even get on. That WWF, of course, as it was known back then, title. That's like probably I would say my third favourite of the sort of WWF heavyweight championships. The one I really like, I actually have a full replica of, and it's the one of around the time where I believe it was like, it's the one basically The Rock held quite a lot in the sort of corporation days. It's around that era, Triple H. But the Eagle belt, I mean, it is pretty iconic. Like compared to today, this is like unbelievably better. Like they're so boring today, like just with that WW on the front of it, and all the titles looking the same, but you know, the leather colour, it's just. But this Intercontinental Championship, this is pretty iconic as well. The whole like Warrior with the colours that he used as well. And this is when, of course, the Intercontinental belt, like if you think of how well this flourished, like you had WrestleMania 3 years prior to this between, you know, Randy Savage and Steamboat, that really excelled that title to new levels. And look where it's at now. It's now in the main event at WrestleMania 6 in Canada. So what can I say about this match? My memories, like I do know this it's quite familiar to me just because of the way it's put together. It's very easy to see. But you know, criticise like this match. It's not going to be like 5-star Japanese classic. Catch can, but just check out the fans behind. Like, they are going absolutely nuts at just these little things. Of course, worth pointing out, WrestleMania 18 would return to Sky Dome, and so would Hogan against The Rock. And his Canadian fans here, they were very, very loyal to Hulk Hogan all those years later. So fascinating to see. Of course, this is the one also that Edge was sitting in the crowd for as a kid. He was watching this as well. And now we're going to get like a test of strength. Great shot there of just the sheer mass of WrestleMania. It's kind of cool because when they do that and they pan out like that, it's going to be like, you get the pacing of the match like very early on. This is going to be a slow start, but yet very, very it's got the fans like really, really excited for it. Like, they don't have to go 10, 20 miles per hour because there's no point. It's like, just stay in this lane because you've got the fans, you've got them in the palm of your hand. So there's no point like breaking your back when you can just like, I don't know, like just make a pose or nod of the head or something, get a reaction of the crowd. That's good psychology for me. And this kind of pace, the way they do this, the way they put this match together, if you was to put this in front of an audience now, it would never work. But at the time, this was like, look at it. I mean, look at the amount of reaction they are getting just from this test of strength. So what's fascinating as well about this is the fact that we haven't got a clear-cut heel, and Hogan, of course, this is his normal sort of routine that we're seeing now. Hogan down, he's going to be bullied around. You would have seen his matches against King Kong Bundy prior to this, Andre the Giant. Those kind of built matches were all about that. This is also a time where a lot of people, maybe including Vince himself, felt that the passing of the torch was really going to happen here, and that Hogan maybe was not going to be the guy, and they were going to put all their eggs in one basket with Warrior after this. But I think we all know the story there, as Hogan now gets his comeback there of the test of strength. Nice shot there. They don't do enough of this today. I don't know who it was doing their production back then, doing this camera work, but very, very well done. I wish they would be as creative as they were then today. Hogan absolutely covered in his body oil. I think both of them are, to be fair. Like, look at that. But yeah, this was going to be Warrior's crowning moment. I'm pretty sure if he'd have wanted it and been a bit more of a team player, who knows how far he could have been. He might have even exceeded Hogan. But in the end, Warrior, was his own worst enemy. Held up the company many a times. And of course, they ended up going back to Hulk Hogan. As we see yet another standoff. I think this match is probably built around that. It's like who's going to get the upper hand. See that all this like sort of test of strength. This is one of the worst spots in the matches I really disliked, was the whole crisscross business. And every time Gorilla Monsoon would keep saying it as well. I used to drive me nuts. But it's a sign of the times that we had back then. As we see the Warrior scoop slamming Hogan. And this, of course, was his getting the energy from his little warriors, as he'd say. So stiff, those clotheslines. You can see Hogan's like he tried to get out of there before Warrior even came charged.